Hey everybody, welcome to Advanced Shouting alongside Dan Petru, Michael Barksand, and yes, Zach Fogelman's back. He is the face, the future of the show. Yeah, exactly. We got a lot to talk about. We'll talk about the breaking baseball news in a little while. A lot of hockey, and obviously baseball pitch and catch report. But we'll start hockey, and a team that we normally don't talk about a lot, the Columbus Blue Jackets. There's a lot of drama going on with the team, and let's bring in the beat writer from the Columbus Dispatch right away, Brian Hedger. Brian, how's it going?
Doing pretty good. Good to be with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to talk about with this team, but let's just get a quick state of the Blue Jackets from you.
Well, where do I start with this one this year? You know, it's funny. This is a team that's coached by John Tortorella, which everyone knows about Torts, or you should know about Torts. He's a guy who believes that. What's the phrase that he always uses? Not controversy, but basically, when there's problems to overcome, he feels like that helps make you stronger eventually. Well, this team is going to be super strong by the end of the year because they have gone through so much strife in the first quarter of the season, and it's only a 56-game season, right? So, they've already had their top center say, yeah, I'm signing a 2-year contract, but I'm only doing that so you trade me, so get me out of here. And then at the same time was saying, well, I'll be the best teammate I can be, but then he wasn't. And then he forced them to trade them. And they get Laine in, and Patrick Laine is here a week, and he's already getting into an issue with the assistant coach and getting benched. I mean, pick your point. How about goals that shouldn't count that stay on the board?
Yeah.
For some inexplicable reason, the NHL leaves them on there, and the Jackets only they lose by a goal, of course. That's the way it ends up with this team. So that's kind of how the way it's going this season so far. We're only a quarter of the way into it, and it's basically been one big soap opera.
Now, okay, this might sound – I'm actually kind of being serious, I guess, when I ask this next question. Is John Tortorella trying to get his players to quit on him, and or is John Tortorella trying to get himself fired?
I don't think it's either. He is in the last year of his contract, and – I have the feeling, this is just me, and this is just me, my gut reaction or gut feeling of being on the beat. And, this is my 4th season now dealing with John, and in this role, this capacity, 3rd for the newspaper. I think there was there was at least 2 or 3 or 4 other situations so far where he would have had one of his traditional tirade blow-ups post-game, but he didn't. And you can almost literally see him fighting himself to not do it now, because he probably doesn't want to get fined anymore. And also because, you have to start thinking, well, if he doesn't have a contract, he probably doesn't want to do anything that's going to necessarily lead down a road that he doesn't want to go. I think he likes it here. And I think that this is a good – listen, I'm one of the people who think I'm not in the locker room anymore, with Zoom and the COVID and all that stuff. So it's harder to kind of tell body language or just kind of shoot the bull with guys or whatever and find out a real true feeling of, what's going on in the locker room. But I think just in general, this is a team that's always young every year. Every year they have new young guys that no one's ever heard of before that management wants to bring into this league and teach how to be good pro athletes, to be good two-way pro players, right? Well, there's no better coach in the league, in my opinion, to teach a young guy how to do that than John Tortorella. The problem is some of the young guys, listen, not everybody's the same. They're not all robots, right? So some of the young guys aren't going to take that kind of coaching very well. And it's not going to go over real well. And it's going to look bad when it blows up. But other guys do take it really well, and they go on to become, pretty darn good players. And, I think some of the best examples that you can see of this are, look at the team this year, Michael Del Zotto. They add Michael Del Zotto. He was a New York Ranger, first-round pick, 19 years old in the NHL. him and Torts have both said that they basically hated each other's guts for a certain time in New York.
That's true.
But here they are, right? Like however many years later, 10 years later, 11 years later, Del Zotto wanted to play for Torts again. Torts wanted Del Zotto back because he was a more mature player. And, I keep seeing this story over and over again. Brian Boyle is another guy who kind of I'd heard he kind of wanted to come play for Columbus if they had room last year because he likes Torts. You either love him or hate him, and a lot of guys love him because he forces you to be a complete player. I know there's a lot of agents. People think agents hate Torts. I've talked to more agents that actually like Torts a lot. And they're like, I want my guy to play for that guy because I want my guy to make a lot of money eventually. And like, he's not going to be worth anything if he's a one-way player. So it's just an interesting dynamic with Torts this year.
Well, I guess one thing we want to bring up, obviously the big trade that sent Pierre-Luc Dubois to Winnipeg, and then you also got Roslovic and Laine back. We'll touch on Roslovic in a minute because we're going to stay negative for a little bit, and then we'll go positive. Arguably, Patrick Laine is might be the most talented goal scorer this franchise has ever seen. There are not many players in the league that can score with a wrist shot from anywhere in the ice without a screen and beat a goalie. Now, he's an RFA at the end of the year. Would you get a sense of? Are you reading the room? Have you heard anything? Do you think he'll commit to the team long term, or could you actually see him? This one's for you, Michael. Do you think you could see him pulling a Jeff Carter and trying to force a trade at maybe towards the end of this year or maybe next year as well?
I think all options are on the table at this point. It's so early, in his Blue Jackets career. I mean, the team did everything they could to try and make it a good, smooth transition at least. I mean, they went out and got a billboard, and put him on the billboard and put a welcome to Columbus and finish on the thing. Picture of him in the Blue Jackets jersey. And that was like one of the first things he saw when he got off the plane and started heading toward quarantine. From that whole thing. But he's here less than a week, or about a week, and he's already getting into it with one of the assistant coaches, which I had in one of my stories last week, and that's what led to the benching that everyone was talking about. I think it's just too early to tell right now, and I do know that. The Blue Jackets would love to sign him long term. That what they're looking for a guy with his kind of talent who is going to buy into what they're trying to put together here and be the front guy to it, right? You got Seth Jones on the back end. Now he's going to be a free agent in 2 years, but they're going to try everything they can to get him here long term. So that I think they're looking at it saying, look, we want guys like Seth Jones. We want guys like Zach Werenski. We want guys like Patrick Laine to buy in and just say, this is where we're going to be. And we're going to try and win a Stanley Cup right here in Columbus, Ohio. And it can be done, and we will show you that it's going to happen. They're looking for somebody to do that, and they have not found anybody yet. So I know from their aspect and their end, they would like to sign him long term. I'm not sure on Laine's end yet, time will tell on that. And here's the thing: if it doesn't work out, the Jackets do have 2 more years. Since you mentioned he's an RFA, they have 2 more years of team control, and
right.
So with that, not only can they kind of not dictate, but they ultimately can decide whether they want to sign him or whatever. They can also move him again. Like if push comes to shove, he's a heck of a talent, and they can try and move him again. And the guy you mentioned before that we'll get to, I'm sure, is Jack Roslovic. He's going to stay here probably. He's from Columbus. That's a guy who loves it here. This is his home. This is where he was from, and that's why he's wearing 96, because that was his number with the Ohio AAA Blue Jackets Tier 1 developmental team, where he was a stud, and he's just like, I'm bringing the 96 back. So he's happy here. He's playing really well in this new increased role. We're gonna have to see about Laine.
Yeah, my feeling on Laine is, and of course I don't have the insight you would have on him, even in his short tenure in Columbus, and this is without any knowledge of the guy whatsoever. I just feel he's one of those players. He reminds me of back in the day, Alexander Frolov. Clearly a lot more talented, but when when he wants to play and he's motivated to play for whatever reason, maybe his girlfriend's in the stands or who knows what makes every different player tick. When he wants to really play, he is one of the top 5 players in the league. And then there's nights where whether it's missing a defensive assignment or whatever it is, he's like, it's kind of like Jeff Carter. Sometimes he just checks out, and and players like that don't usually fit into the Torts mold. So like you said earlier, that's going to be interesting to see. He's either going to buy in and become a great 200-foot player, or he's not, and he's going to be out of there in a year or two.
For sure. That's exactly how I see it too.
Well, you know what, Michael, he actually reminds me of a young Alex Ovechkin who would not buy in, just wanted to park his butt on the face-off dot and rip one-timers. And it wasn't finally until like a coach like Barry Trotz that got Ovi to buy in, got Ovi to back check and do all that stuff. And I think with the talent that the unteachable tangibles that Laine possesses are off the chart. Yeah. I just think he has to, and I just think he has to find maybe, I don't know if it's Torts or not. Maybe it is. Guys have bought into Torts' system before. He does need to buy into a system, maybe sacrifice 5 or 10 goals for more success, because the talent he has, you can't teach. So maybe as an Islander fan, I just think Trotz and Laine are the perfect fit, and we need to figure this out somehow.
Well, what's very interesting about this situation is you look at Torts, and everyone immediately is going to you look at last year, right? So one thing that I like about Torts as a coach is I feel like he's a shapeshifter a little bit, right? Like, so he looks at his roster and he says, like, okay, all my scoring is gone. How am I going to win? Like the question always ends up being, how am I going to win? Right. So like when he had Panarin and he had Duchesne and he had all these guys that went, after Yarmo went out and got those guys, they weren't playing like they are now. It was Katie bar the door. It was like, hey, we have Zach Werenski and Seth Jones and all these guys. We're going, baby. We're like full steam ahead. And then when those guys left, when Bob left and Panarin left and Duchesne left and Dzingel left, like all those guys left in one off season. I think him and the coaching staff, he's got a really good coaching staff as well. I think they looked at it and said, how are we going to win games? And they're like, well, we're just going to shut everybody out. Like we got young goaltenders we believe in, but nobody, not really proven. Let's just play really good defense in front of them, not give them any odd man rushes and see what happens. Well, they got into the playoffs doing that last year, but they couldn't out defend. They ran into a monster with Tampa Bay, obviously. And I feel, and Braden Point is always, except for that one series where they did get the sweep, he has just been an absolute Blue Jackets killer. Like he is, I'm sure he does that for a lot of teams. He's a great player, but for the Blue Jackets, for some reason, he's always there scoring that key goal. And I think them not getting past the Lightning again, I think they looked at it in the offseason and they said, hey, we got to have more offense. And I think this led into some of their issues this year because they didn't start off this season saying, hey, we got to stay above the puck. We got to limit odd man right. They didn't say that this year. They came in and they said, we need more offense. So we got to strike this really tough balance, between offense and defense. And I think they're struggling with it right now, trying to figure out how do we push for more offense while not leaving ourselves, exposed.
It's like a midlife crisis, identity crisis. Like who are we right now?
Yeah. Oh, they're totally in an identity crisis right now. It's like they're hunting around for it with no flashlight in a dark attic,
All right. Well, now for some positivity. The hometown kid, Jack Roslovic, finally found his home for the future. Do you think the Blue Jackets expected this type of production from him this quickly?
I don't know about this quickly. I think that, anytime you trade for a guy, you want to kind of, give him bits and pieces, right, and see what he's going to give you. Maybe not throw him right in there, but they ended up throwing him right in there after a while. I mean, he's their top center right now, mainly by default, I would have to say, just because you got rid of Dubois, you don't have him there anymore. Dubois was really their only legitimate top 6 center. They thought Max Domi was going to be that guy, but he's really struggled to kind of pick up the system so far away from the puck in the defensive zone. So he's back out to the wing for now. He may be move back to center at some point. Who knows? But Roslovic, it's interesting because he clearly did not see himself getting an opportunity in Winnipeg. He was playing every game, an opportunity to play higher up in the lineup. He thinks of himself as a top 6 center, and he wanted to play center. And this is a team that needs a top 6 center, so it's like, okay, you think you are? Let's see what you got, buddy. And so they put him out there, and I don't know if you guys saw his pass the other night that set up Cam Atkinson's goal. It was the first goal of the game, about 35 seconds of the game. It was unbelievable. I mean, he comes up the right wing, tucks the puck through his backward through his skates, flips around and throws a pass perfect tape right on the tape to Laine. I mean, stuff like that people. I mean, he's such a tremendous skater. He had that one goal also where he splits the two Hurricanes defenders, puts the puck through his legs, off the one skate, back to the stick, through the 5-hole. He's got a lot of skill, and he can really skate. So I don't know if they knew it was going to come on this quick, but it has come on pretty quick, and he's been impressive.
And I have Cam Atkinson on my fantasy team. He certainly helped Cam turn things around because it was a pretty rough start to the season.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Cam's an interesting one because, I mean, Cam will tell you himself, and that's the first thing he says. When I score goals, it's when I'm getting lost in the offensive zone, when people forget about me, basically, and I find these little holes, and then I get open and I can, put the puck in. That's harder. I mean, it's easier when you have a player like Patrick Laine on the left wing and you have a center who's driving offense down the middle. And the last time he really had that was when you had Panarin on the left wing and you had Dubois playing really well in the middle. Those two guys, I mean, everyone had to worry about them, and they were like, oh, yeah, I forgot we got Cam Atkinson out here, and he's popping in goals. He had 41 goals that season, So I thought that trade immediately when they got Laine, and I said, I bet you they're going to play him in that line with Atkinson and see if they can get him going. And the last week and a half, he's been on fire.
Yeah, he has.
Now, do you think I know he signed a 2-year bridge deal with Columbus, Roslovic. Do you think they will discuss long-term after this season?
I think that they're going to want to. I think they're going to want to keep him around. I mean, because it's not just the fact that he's a great, prospect player, whatever you want to call him. He's 24 years old now. But he is a local guy, and he does mean a lot to this area. I mean, it is interesting. I mean, that's not the reason you want to sign a guy long-term, or maybe even potentially overpay for him a little bit to get him here long-term. But it's part of it, right? I mean, you're in this market where this is my 4th year in the market. I've learned a lot about the market since I've been here. And, just a great example, my son plays hockey now. He's 11. And, one of the coaches who was running his camp, this was last summer, he basically said, look, I came here in 2000, and he goes, there was a total of, I think it was like 250 kids in the entire Columbus area that were playing hockey at that age, that time. Now it's over 30,000.
Wow.
30,000 in 20 years. That's how much it's grown. It's a super popular sport.
Like St. Louis.
It's huge, and people don't necessarily realize that until you get into the market and you start realizing, whoa, like people actually care about this team a lot. And Jack Roslovic is the perfect face for that. Like he was born. Him and his dad have been season ticket holders of the Blue Jackets since the beginning.
Wow.
I mean, his dad was like right from the beginning, 2000. I mean, he knows exactly where their season tickets were, right behind the visiting bench, all that kind of stuff. So he's got all these great stories, and if you can get a guy who can be a top 6 legitimate player, and he's from Columbus, and people love him, I mean, I think you gotta do everything you can to keep him here long.
And he wants to be there?
Yeah. Absolutely.
He doesn't fight with his coaches?
No, for sure.
I mean, how many boxes did you just check for the dream scenario?
Absolutely. Well, it's funny because the players have already said he's come in and he's a chatterbox, kind of like me. And he's just talking all the time, but in a good way, and he kind of helps that locker room and he helps keep it light. Him and Del Zotto actually are both keeping it light in there. So if there's a positive for the Blue Jackets, it's the fact that they're not getting down on themselves just yet.
All right. Well, Brian, we appreciate your time tonight. Check out his work at the Dispatch and Brian Hedger on Twitter. Thanks again. We'll talk to you down the road.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks so much.
All right, see ya.
First of all, that was awesome because Columbus is not one of the teams that we talk about regularly. So it's good to see and they've been in the news a lot this year. So it's good to see them. Good to get that local perspective. And Emily has a question. She wants to know about Pittsburgh and Hextall being the GM there and what kind of work he has cut out for him.
A lot. I mean, how many years does Sid have?
Right.
Realistic.
Malkin's going to walk you, right? Or next year. He has 1 year left?
1 year? I think so.
I think 1 or 2.
Yeah. Tang's not getting younger.
Right. They're an old team. They don't have a ton of prospects. They don't have a ton of young players outside of Gensel. They have problems in their blue line outside of Marino. They have problems in net. And it just seemed they were a team that made a really good run for many, many years. And much like the Kings, much like the Blackhawks, I think they're kind of hitting the wall now. And you're going to see a rebuild coming soon.
And they signed players to bad contracts.
Yeah. And they don't have a first round. They didn't have a first round pick last year. They don't have a first round pick this year.
Right. Yeah. And it's weird. How much worse did they get? I mean, Tristan Jarry last year came out of nowhere and he was great.
Right.
And he's not playing the way he did last year. Ryan Rust is turning it around a little bit. He had a slow start to the season, but yeah, Pittsburgh's kind of in that. It's now or never, and then the long dreaded rebuild.
Right. Unfortunately, I don't think now is good enough to get out of the first round of the playoffs if you even make the playoffs.
I agree.
Yeah.
And then not to wish injury on anybody, but you expect Sidney Crosby missing 5 to 7, possibly 10 games each year. So we don't want to have that happen, especially a year like this, where that East Division, that Mass Mutual East Division, is very tough.
Yeah, that's a tough.
Yeah, absolutely. But should we do our awards?
Yeah, let's do our awards. Yeah.
All right, we're a quarter, into the season now, into this, COVID season, and these awards don't hold us to us. It's just for right now. It's not projecting the winners, later after the season. It's our awards right now. So let's start with the Hart Trophy. And let's start with, I guess, the youngest. So let's start with Zach. What do you got?
I mean, my pick to me was pretty obvious. I know his team hasn't been showing what has been, but I said Connor McDavid for the Hart Trophy.
I mean, it's
really went out on a very sturdy limb.
Yeah,
it was between him or Austin Matthews, but McDavid I went with McDavid.
All right, play it between the tackles there. Okay, that's pretty fair. All right, I'll go. Might as well. I'm going to go a little bit out of the box here. I had one guy who I was going to go with, a former Hart Trophy winner, Patrick Laine, because no one expected that team to be where they are right now. They're a playoff spot, but I'm changing my pick to one that no one even thought they'd be where they are right now, the Florida Panthers, who are in first place in that division. And I'm going with Jonathan Huberdeau, who's been absolutely fantastic. I don't know if you saw his pass earlier today. He had 2 goals, had a game winner.
Barkov's been amazing, too.
Barkov's been fantastic.
If he doesn't win the Selke this year, they should stop giving the award out.
Yeah, it's fixed. It's
over. Like Bergeron won it.
Yeah, Bergeron.
Pavel Datsyuk won it.
Yeah, exactly. And Rafael Palmeiro won a gold glove at first base, so there you go.
And Barkov's the most underrated center in the league that nobody knows of unless you're a real hockey fan. Right. 5 years now.
Right. And then who do they bring? They bring Carter Verhaeghe, who's been fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, he's been great, yeah.
They lost Luke Hoffman. They lost Danino. So they lost a lot, pieces, but look where they are right now. They're in first place. No one thought they'd be where they are, and I'm going with Huberdeau. So we'll see how that pans out.
Michael?
I'm going to really jump on a limb here. I also have Connor McDavid, just because he and Nathan McKinnon are the 2 players that when they play, I will watch the game to watch them. I'll watch Edmonton over the Kings right now just to watch him play. That's how special a player he is. He's the greatest player that's ever played this game. End of story.
No, I think you're right.
McKinnon's right there with him. Yeah. But they're arguably the only 2 players in the league that are actually faster when they have the puck on their stick. And that just doesn't happen very often.
And he's 1 point away from 500, which he'll probably likely get after this show tonight.
Yeah. It would take me 19,000 years to get 500 points in a beer league.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I can't give it to McDavid because I need your team to make the playoffs, and I'm not sure if Edmonton's going to make the playoffs or not. If they make the playoffs, yeah, we'll probably give it to them, but we also can't count out Draisaitl as well. But Right now, I'm going to go with, because it's as of right now, while Austin Matthews scores a lot of the goals, I really think the glue to the Maple Leafs is Mitch Marner, and that's who I would give the Hart Trophy to.
That's a solid pick. He's having an incredible year.
Both him and Matthews have been unbelievable.
Yeah.
Of course, they're playing. They're in that division that's not exactly the strongest division in the world, but hey, you play your schedule.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, really quickly, how is Winnipeg that bad?
There's something wrong in that locker room.
Yes, there has to be. I mean,
when you have guys like Roslovic just sitting there, and he has talent, but he's not getting the opportunity. There is just something wrong in that locker room.
They need a leadership change.
Yeah, and then you have the stories coming out about the hazing of Laine.
Yeah,
and look, Maurice has definitely worn out his welcome there. The GM is, I don't know. Yeah, also same thing there too. Maybe you could look to make a. I just think organization. They need a complete overhaul of that organization.
They had their chance, but lost to it. The Vegas in their first year in the conference finals. They had their chance right in front.
Yeah, they were ready there. That was it. That team was
they
ready.
Were up 1-0. Up 1-0 in the series, and Vegas just came right back.
Yeah, but they are, in that division, they are in a playoff spot right now. I think they're only 5 points behind the Maple Leafs. So this year might save Paul Maurice if they make the playoffs.
As a cockroach.
Yeah, exactly.
Kill him.
Yeah, exactly. But let's move on. We'll do Vezina, I guess. Let's do Vezina. All right, Zach, what do you got for the top?
Not being biased, I went with Semyon Varlamov. To me, Varlamov's been fantastic all year. I mean, 3 shutouts. I think 7-2-2 is. I think that's a stat line. I mean, top in goals against average, top in save percentage. I mean, he's been fantastic this year. And the Islanders in their last 7-8 games have been great. I loved what I've seen from Varlamov over the last couple of games.
Yeah, I mean, ditto. I mean, he's saved the Islanders.
Not being biased, of course.
Yeah, of course. Not being biased. I mean, he was fantastic in the bubble last year, and maybe 1 or 2 hiccups, but he carried the team. He also carried the team when they struggled beginning this year. He's been great. I'm going with him as well. With I guess Marc-Andre Fleury being close second.
I for me it's I don't know. I love Vasilevsky. But you have to look at the team in front of him. So I'm going to go with Marc-Andre Fleury because I watched a lot of their games, and he's just playing. He's made so many ridiculous saves this year, and I know that's not, making an incredible save is not a reason to give someone the Vezina, but I think that he is. I mean, he's just still so good, and I know they're a good team, but I would give it to him.
And not only did he played great, he took a job away from Lainer, who's also a really good goalie as well. He's been a Vezina finalist. Michael and I are on the same page. I have Marc-Andre Fleury as well, and I have Varlamov as the runner-up as of right now. But I just think Fleury has been lights out. You look at a guy who's at this age. A couple of years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, you wondered what the future was for Marc-Andre Fleury. If he was Toronto bound at the end of his career, would he make the Hall of Fame? And right now, I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I mean, he's 36 years old. He's doing this year. Okay, so we have a tie, 2 for Fleury, 2 for Varlamov. Chat, we need to be a tiebreaker. Right? So get at it. Good Norris now, top defenseman. What do you got, Zach?
Now, I don't know if any of you guys are going to agree with my choice.
Oh boy.
I said Jeff Petrie. I think he's been really good this year for that team. I think 15 points, 6 goals, 9 assists. I mean, I think it's Petrie. I was going to say Hedman. My early prediction for the season was Shea Theodore, but I mean, he's been okay. But I'd have Jeff Petrie as it right now. I like what I've seen from him.
Okay. I thought you were going to say Adam Pelech for a second there. But, that's okay. It's a boring pick. I'm going with Victor Hedman. I mean, you never go wrong with him. He's the best defenseman in the league. He's going to go down as one of the best defensemen of all time. And yeah, I'll make it short and sweet. Victor Hedman.
Michael?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Drew Doughty, always, forever. No, I'm kidding. No, Hedman for sure. I think he is just a notch above everyone else for everything he does and everything he brings to the game.
Now, I actually I scoffed at Zach's pick, not because it's bad, but it seems like with the Norris Trophy, you have to be nominated a few times before they let you win it. So maybe Petrie will be nominated this year, but I don't think he'll win it. I actually got Cale Makar. I just think he's been out of this world this year. He keeps getting better. He's already one of the top 5 defensemen in the league. Hedman will probably win. But if I was giving the award away, I would give it to Makar. And then the honorable mention goes to Aaron Ekblad. He's really emerged as the hybrid shutdown defenseman, puck mover that they envisioned when they took him first overall. And he's been absolutely fantastic so far this year.
And he's still young, and he looks like he's 45.
Yeah.
Right. He looks like he's 45, and he's, 23?
Yeah. Like when he was 22, he grew a beard, and I was like, this guy's like 35. What is
Yep.
Yeah, no, he's really, really become an elite defenseman. You're right. I like that, Nick.
So, Dan, you basically contradicted yourself.
Oh, yeah, no, they won't win it. You're asking me who I think should win, and that's who I would give the award to.
That's like my Petrie pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they need to change the Norris, by the way. They need to have,
I agree.
They need to have the Norris, and then they need the Bobby Orr.
Yeah,
The
perfect.
Bobby Orr.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Because why do we celebrate, defensemen, forwards and not defensemen?
We don't even to celebrate defensive forwards anymore.
I mean, it's basically the Bergeron trophy. Just
Right.
But yeah. And then I guess we'll end with the rookies. So what do you got, Zach, for the Calder?
I mean, for me, really no rookie has stood out. My early pick, Lafreniere, has been terrible this year. I kind of went with one that's kind of under the radar, so I'm in Bridgeport a couple times. I went with Josh Norris of the Ottawa Senators. I saw him play in Bridgeport next to Drake Batherson. Loved both players. Now they're having their shot in Ottawa. I mean, I don't even think he's top 6 forward this year, bottom 6. I like what he's done so far, and that team has been, I know, really bad, but hey, not the worst team in the league. But I went with Josh Norris.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, he was in the Carlson trade. It's very, very good for the Senators. Lafreniere, I tweeted out earlier that he has the same amount of points. Actually, he doesn't. In 14 career games, he has 1 fewer point than Rick DiPietro did in his first 14 games in the NHL. Rick DiPietro is a goalie, so I know he's not going to end up with 1 point. It's slow, but I kind of angered Ranger fans a little bit, and I'm kind of glad I did. But yeah, I mean, your pick is good. I'm going to go with another older rookie like the Blackhawks had last year. I'm going with Pius Suter. I'm sure that's going to change. Pius.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just happy you got our guest name to write tonight. So I should.
I haven't done this in a while. Okay, so now we have. Okay, I mean, like Zach said, there's really no rookie that's standing out right now. I mean, it could end up Lafreniere could go off, on a hot streak, but now I'm going with Pius Suter.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I like the kid who Dan told me pick up off waivers a long time ago in Minnesota, Kaprizov, and I didn't. And he's having just a fantastic year. And again, flying under the radar. That team is boring. They always have been. They always will be. But I watched a couple of games, and he is. I mean, his skill level is just sick. This new crop of young players are just. They're changing the game before.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right. I also, first, real quick, Carol is impressed with Adam Fox. We are too. He's a fantastic player, but he was a rookie last year. He came fourth. He came in fourth last year in the balloting for Rookie of the Year. I'm in agreement with Vartan tonight again. I have Kaprizov as well, Kirill Kaprizov from Minnesota. He's just been absolutely fantastic, and I can't remember the last time Minnesota has had a player that's made me want to watch their team. No offense, they're kind of boring. They play kind of boring hockey, but he had a couple of weeks against the Kings where he just lit them up. Sorry.
I know. I remember it well.
An honorable mention, one of the teammates of Josh Norris, and I love saying his name, is Tim Stutzel from Germany. He has been absolutely fantastic. And you're right. The skill that these 18, 19-year-olds have and the willingness to just try things during an NHL game, you did not see that 10 years ago. No. And these kids are like the lacrosse goal that he basically scored, that he batted the puck out of midair for his first career goal. These kids have off the chart skill. So it's good to see. And you're right. They definitely are changing the game because everyone coming up has more skill. Everyone coming up is bigger, faster, stronger. So it's good to see.
And it's crazy to think what the league's going to look like in 20 years from now. Like
Also, honorable mention: Keandre Miller's been amazing for the Rangers.
Yeah, I was going to mention him, piggyback off of Carroll. He's been fantastic. Rangers have been terrible, but he's really been good. Quick shout out to a rookie who had his first win last night and a shutout, Ilya Sorokin. So I mean, technically he's a rookie, but I mean he's played in the KHL forever. He's won everything in the KHL. His first 3 games weren't great. Yeah, his first 3 games weren't great, but basically that was preseason because he didn't play anything, getting adjusted to the ice and the angles. But he's been great. It's
funny because I texted Noel yesterday and before that game because he had struggled a little bit when he started. Also, the team has not scored for him, and I said to Noel, I said, if he loses or struggles tonight against Buffalo, would they send him to the AHL for 2 weeks maybe to get some starts, and then he beats the Sabres? And I'm like, well, you know what? He kind of just played an AHL team, so it kind of just worked out. It kind of just worked out. Sorry, Sabres fans. It's just a mess up there right now.
Yeah, I have to read a comment on Facebook, which is
it's so good. I wish we could show it.
Yeah, I have it right here.
Okay,
great. That's not going to get. Yeah, that looks fantastic.
Right. So Chris Carlaco, whatever. I don't know who it is, but
great with names.
Calarco.
Fantastic comment. He goes, I bought a cardboard cutout to honor my aunt who passed away. Our condolences. Definitely.
He tweeted this to the Sabres.
Yeah. Can I come up and pick up the cardboard cutout so she doesn't have to watch us anymore? Which is fantastic. I mean, I worked, for the Sabres broadcast for a couple of years. I've been up there. I feel the Sabres pain, the fans who didn't make the playoffs, I think in almost a decade now. Terrible contracts, total mismanagement, great fans. Taylor Hall's going to get traded. I'm sure Eichel's not going to last there much longer, but at least you'll have Jeff Skinner for the next quarter century.
Saul to get traded.
Yeah.
That contract is.
I mean, I still can't believe that Hall didn't accept the Avalanche's offer, but that's just me. I still think that's insane.
He might end up there at the trade.
Exactly.
And then one to go back to the rookies. I love how nice they are with the fans. That's just me. I love how nice they were in the AHL with fans.
Oh, because you get sticks from them.
Because I get sticks from them and autographs. That's what I love.
Pretty soon you're going to be too old, and you're just going to be the creepy kid sitting there. And
I'll keep going no matter how old I am. I'll teach Tyler well.
Here's the good thing. How old is Abby now?
11.
Okay, that's good. You start. She's going to need to be the one to get all the merchandise pretty soon, and then you have Tyler, who's young. He's a few years away, and then when Abby gets too old, where it just becomes a creepy stalker thing, then you bring Tyler into it. So you're going to be getting sticks for like the next 15 years.
Tyler's my little helper. He'll help me.
Oh yeah.
And what do you do with all those sticks, buddy?
It's fun. I got them right there. There they are.
I'll just sitting there. Wait, aren't my hockey sticks still in your garage?
Yeah, the 2 lefties.
Yeah, my hockey sticks are still in your garage.
They're still down there.
What are they, like a 45 flex?
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah. senior flex.
Yeah.
Should we? Let's before we get to trivia, should we talk Tatis?
We got Tatis and we got a little football to talk about.
You want to do football still? We're running a little late.
A little late. I mean, were we up against local news? I mean, we still have time.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, weather on the ones.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we can touch upon football real quick.
Okay, all right. So what do you want to do first? You're the producer.
Yeah, let's do football. So that's the order I have it built here. There's a lot of
that wasn't passive aggressive at all.
No, I can remove you again. Okay, there's a lot of quarterbacks that are could be on the move. There was one a couple weeks ago, actually 2, Drew Stafford and Jared Goff. There's another one who I guess is dangerously close to being traded, and Carson Wentz. There was talk that he can go to Chicago for
fingers crossed.
I guess for Nick Foles returning and a potential number 1 first round draft.
I would take from Chicago. I would take a slice of deep dish and 2 Chicago dogs for Carson Wentz.
Yeah, you got to get rid of that contract.
Just to get rid of the contract.
Yeah, it's absolutely brutal. Okay, so let's start with Carson Wentz. Well, where do you think you'd actually end up? Think it's going to be Chicago?
No. I still think Indy. I think him and Frank Reich had a good connection when he was in Philly. I know Chicago, I think, has an offensive or passing game coordinator that was close to Wentz, but I don't know if that's true or not. I still think it's Indianapolis. That's just me, though.
Okay.
I don't care about Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Would he end up with the Raiders? They might need a quarterback.
I don't want to. I mean, Derek Carr, Carson Wentz, same thing.
From an Eagles perspective, I will pretty much trade him anywhere. Indianapolis would be a good fit because they have a lot of good young defensive players. You might be able to make a move there. I think Chicago still is a good fit. They clearly need a quarterback, and they've been talking stupid about a return for that. So I'm all for that. Look, you could have Carson Wentz and you can have Jalen Hurts if you can get me like Deshaun Watson back. I really don't care. Yeah. So anywhere he goes is fine with me. But I like that pick, Zach. I think Indiana or Chicago are the two where he might land.
I think Colts is actually a great landing spot for a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah, I agree.
I like what's going on up there.
I still think if Andrew Luck never retired, they would have probably been closer to the top of the mountain.
Or if Andrew Luck didn't have every bone in his body broken because he had no offensive line for 10 years. Yeah.
But now they have the best in the league.
If you're Andrew Luck, you're throwing things at the television.
Yeah. Right.
If you can, poor. Did he rupture his spleen?
He did a lot of stuff.
He had a punctured kidney. He had terrible injuries.
Yeah, but actually, Google what all the injuries that Drew Stafford had, or Matthew Stafford. Yeah, had it amazing, and he played through all of it. But
every single game, didn't miss a single one.
Yeah,
you're Detroit.
yeah. Lou Magnati's in Chicago. Love the pizza. It's fantastic.
Good pizza. Yeah, good pizza. Yep.
Great deep dish. All right, so let's talk. Emily also mentioned Watson, so he's obviously the big name here. Let's talk anywhere. I mean, the Jets, the Dolphins, and basically any team. The Panthers, the Colts. I have no idea. Honestly, I don't know. It changes every day. I don't think he's going to the Jets. I really don't.
It seems like the Jets are the team with the cap space and the personnel and the draft picks to get it done.
But the problem is they're going to want a player. And the only player the Jets have to trade is Quinn Williams. And you're not going to trade him.
No, you can't.
You can't trade him. You're not trading Mackay back. You're not trading him either. There's nobody else on the team that's valuable enough.
Right.
In a trade. So I don't think just draft picks are going to get it done.
For me, I like the Panthers. Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Matt Rule, Christian McCaffrey. O-line is but I mean they have the 7th, 8th pick this year. I like Carolina.
Do they keep Christian McCaffrey if they get
100%?
Yeah.
Do your first round pick this year, Teddy Bridgewater, a future first, and maybe like a defensive player. I think that can get it done because Watson is his trade value. The longer he waits, I think to me it goes down.
I think his trade value peaks until maybe it settles right now, but then it spikes up right around the draft.
Yeah.
And then if he doesn't get traded on draft day, then I think it goes straight down.
Yeah, it gets messy. It gets messy.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, let's do one more guy because obviously it's getting past Dan's bedtime here, and let's do Russell Wilson. We figured he would never leave in Seattle, and it kind of came out that he was kind of frustrated getting sacked basically every other play. Their offensive line has been, a shit show pretty much. Do you see him staying, or is he going to request a trade? I mean, I think a Dallas move him for Dak Prescott would be epic. I think that's the only move I can see. Otherwise, he's going to stay, and they'll basically mend all the broken fences.
Yeah, I mean, Russell Wilson for the last X number of years is a guy you've never heard him badmouth the organization, and he was interviewed. Where was it? Whoever was interviewing him, and it's the first time I've ever heard Russell Wilson be like, "Yeah, I'm open to it if they're open to it," and that's a big thing for him. So he's clearly not happy there. I don't know what his relationship is with management, but I mean, if I was Seattle, I would definitely do everything I can to keep him. Because I think he's a better quarterback than Prescott.
I do too.
He probably stays put. He'll probably not be happy with that, but he probably stays put. I could see him going to San Francisco, even though it's within the division. I think there could be a trade to work out there.
Good fit there.
Chicago also, because once again, the Jets. I keep saying the Jets just because they're one of the few teams that can take on a big contract, and they have 4 picks, a combination of 4 first and seconds over the next 2 years.
And then if they end up trading Darnold, which they would have going to acquire,
you put Darnold in that trade.
Yeah. They can even get a high as probably a low number 1, which is unbelievable.
Right.
To think that, but it's possible. There's still plenty of time. We'll see. You know, these quarterbacks, most of them have these no trade clauses anyway. So
it's going to be a revolving door this year. It's going to be fun at least.
Yeah, absolutely. And the new football season starts when, Zach?
March 17th, which is a Wednesday.
All right. Oh, perfect. Look at that.
Oh, and one thing that I saw this morning, not a quarterback, but Von Miller and the Broncos could be parting ways very soon.
Nah, he's got some off the field issues and needs to.
And J.J. Watt also.
J.J. Watt, yeah, he's having fun with this.
He is. I still think he was a good fit for him.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I think if he wants to win, he goes to Cleveland. I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I just said that out loud.
Did you actually just say that out loud?
I did. Yeah, I did. But Cleveland's really close.
Yeah,
they're close.
Yeah, imagine the Rams with him and Aaron Donald. Right, Zach?
Yeah. And then it was funny. Go back on Wilson. Leonard Floyd in 3 games against the Seahawks sacked Russell Wilson 7 times.
Oh my God,
that's ridiculous. They know each other pretty well.
You know, we talk about how bad the Sabres were, but then you see because it's a great sports city, and so is Cleveland. And then you see what happens when the Browns are good now. You see what happens when the Bills are good now. It just injects so much energy into the league. So you hope maybe the Sabres can turn it around one of these years. Because you look at what the NFL looks like with Cleveland and Buffalo on the way up, and it's really fun to watch.
Yeah. Right. And people forget the Sabres won the President's Trophy. You know, what was it, maybe 10, 11, 12 years ago? I mean, it's there. They went to the Stanley Cup final. They had the conference finals a few times.
The conference final, they lost to Carolina. All their top 4 defensemen were all hurt for Game 6 and 7.
Right. Absolutely. You know,
and Ryan Miller was standing on his head.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. They had a chance. All right, so news broke right before we came on the air that Fernando Tatis signed this record-breaking 14-year contract worth $340 million. I mean, God bless him. I mean, you know, but
so what is that after taxes? Come on, it's not bad.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially in California, you should know, right?
But, not much.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be worth nothing in 14 years.
Right. But like, was this too soon? You think, or just the right time for this deal?
I don't like the term at all. I mean, signing a kid to a 14-year deal. I mean, it's insane. I mean, is he worth the money? Probably
4 years, which is not bad.
He probably is and is going to be. But I mean, that contract is so huge, and it's still based on what he's going to do going forward. So. Man, good for him. He got paid.
I don't think $24 million a year is that bad for him to live up to, and I actually think he'll outperform that contract maybe as soon as this year. This is a guy.
Yeah, you're right.
This is a guy with all the talent in the world. He's already probably top 5 defensively in the league at his position at shortstop, which is a premium. He's electric. And people pay to you pay to watch him. You'll be watching tons of Padres games this year. He's a must watch. He wants to be the best player in the league. Everything we said before show, everything you want to see, the energy. Like Mike Trout's the best player in the league. He doesn't care. He doesn't want. It's like he could have left. He could have left Anaheim. I think he's happy hiding in the limelight. And look. The Angels have screwed some of that up too. I mean, I just feel like Connor McDavid and Mike Trout are the same person.
Exactly.
But Tatis wants to be the man. He wants to be the face of the league. He wants every kid wearing his jersey. And for San Diego, a team that's been also, we talk about these markets, a great sports market that's been crapped on for years. The Chargers left. I think this is great for the city. It's great for the team to get him to make that commitment. And 24 a year, he's got the security, and it's not that bad. It's not like he's making 35 a year at his age. I think this is perfectly fine. I think it's great.
And I agree. I think the fact that the Padres are the only show in town.
Right.
He's never going to pay for a meal in that city for the next 14 years, although he could pay for a meal for
everybody's meal, really.
Right, here's a good point. Courtney said the Braves 2 years ago signed Acuna to an 8-year, $100 million deal. That's a bargain. He's totally outpaid.
That's totally fine. It is. I mean, and he'll get paid again. You know, I just think, okay, he got the security, but you think he's going to be kicking himself in a few years when seeing players getting $40 million, $45 million?
Nope.
You know,
No, because I think he's gonna be on the cover of every video game. I think he's gonna be doing McDonald's commercials. I think he's gonna
endorsements will carry him. He'll get so much more from endorsements.
I think he'll have a deal with Jordan and Nike.
It'd be like Federer.
Yeah.
They'll make us 150 million on court and then make 250 million in endorsements per year.
Yep.
All right, you see that now, but there'll be other players who make more, and he's young enough, but money always talks. But
just for that division I mean, Dodgers Padres is now a must-watch game.
Must watch. I cannot. I will be watching it all year.
Like the one good thing about the 14 years that he's only 22 years old.
Exactly.
I mean, he's only 22.
Right, but now he has 14 years to accomplish something that probably will never be accomplished again in baseball, which his father did. Hit 2 Grand Slams and won
the same inning.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess we all should mention before we move to trivia. Happy trails to Tim Tebow, who officially retired from baseball today.
Oh,
don't worry about that anymore, Dan.
About time.
Tebow, whatever. I didn't see this. That the Mets signed Jonathan VR to 1 year, $3.5 million. That's a nice signing.
Yeah, it's not bad.
He's a good player. If you put him on the bench, he's a good. He can play anywhere in the infield, pretty much. He can hit. That's a nice signing.
Yeah,
Like Kevin Pillar.
Right there. Yeah.
I mean, they're adding some pieces. We'll see if they mesh.
Yeah, and then I guess another coach, got fired recently again for sexual advances. Their hitting coordinator.
Fishing for stuff.
Nice.
Well, let's get to trivia. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, time for trivia. Zach, you'll pick up the scraps. Michael, and Noel will go around twice. Here are the categories. Which came first? I'll give you 2 things that happen in a sport. You tell me which came first. Tennis Down Under, entire category about the Australian Open. Less is more. Every answer has the player's last name with only 3 letters. In honor of African American History Month, we have African American greats, and then foul languages. Foul language. Every answer has some kind of bird in it.
Okay.
All right, so, Michael, why don't you start us off?
I'll go Tennis Down Under for 5, please.
Look at you. Look at you. All right. Okay.
This is gonna be bad.
Okay.
I should have gone for 3. What do I?
The Australian Open takes place in this arena, named after the player who was the #1 ranked professional from 1964 to 1970, spanning 4 years before.
Rod Laver Arena.
What's that?
Rod Laver Arena.
That's right. Okay, good.
That's 5?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I wouldn't have known that.
I didn't expect you to know that, son.
I'm staying away from that
I
category.
like it when you call him son.
All right, go ahead, Noel.
I will go African American greats for 3.
3. All right. Okay. In 2002, this woman became the first African American to hold the #1 rank in tennis singles in the Open era. And in 2010, she was again ranked #1, this time in doubles.
Serena Williams.
Incorrect. Venus.
Williams. Yep.
You got the last name right.
Michael, go ahead.
Thanks,
Tennis
son.
Down Under for 4, please, Dan.
Tennis for 4.
I mean, it's the season for tennis right now, so.
Okay. Tennis for 4. Which Scottish player almost recorded a perfect score in 2007 during his first round match, winning 6-love, 6-love, 6-1 against his hapless opponent?
Scottish player.
Yep.
Well, Andy Murray.
That's correct. What is happening?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was considered Scottish or. Yeah, well, I guess he's Scottish. Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second here. My computer's going crazy.
Well, we can see all your emails. That's cool.
Okay. All right, so 4 points there. So we're at what the fuck is happening? You guys get to see my COVID results. All
I
right,
tested,
let's try this.
negative yesterday.
Oh, good.
All right.
I'll take tech support for 4.
Tech support for 4, right?
Yeah. All right. I'll take less is more for 2.
Less is more for 2. All right. This Canadian hockey player is said to have revolutionized the position in his 12 NHL seasons, starting with 10 as the Bruins, followed by 2 as a Blackhawk. He's the only defenseman to have won the league scoring title with 2 Art Ross trophies.
Bobby Orr.
That's correct. All right, Michael.
Tennis for 3, please.
Tennis for 3.
I mean,
who delivered by winning back-to-back men's Australian Open singles titles in the 1990s?
1990s.
Yep. Who delivered by winning back-to-back men's Australian Open singles titles during the 1990s?
Oh, Jim Courier.
That is correct.
And he beat Stefan Edberg both times. Both times in 4 sets, by the way.
Wow. Noel?
That's good. I am going to go. I'll do tennis for 2.
I love it.
For the
I
block.
love that. All right. What issue led to delays and a number of medical timeouts being called in the early rounds of qualifying for the 2020 tournament? Need an answer.
I don't know.
The fires, the Australian brush fires. All right, so Noel's got 2 2s and a 3. All right, you're up, Michael.
Let's go for foul language for 3.
All right, foul language for 3.
And the answer is Larry Bird.
I took him out. He was originally here. This All-American and gold medal winning Olympian and 2-time professional All-Star was described by Time magazine as the most famous softball player in history. She pitched for the Arizona Wildcats, the U.S. national softball team, and the Chicago Bandits, and helped lead Team USA to the gold medal in the 2004 Olympics and the silver medal in the 2008 Olympics.
Is it that blonde girl?
What's her name?
Jenny.
Yeah, I need her last name.
Jenny.
Foul language.
Jenny Peacock.
Unfortunately, I cannot accept that. The correct answer is Jenny Finch.
Oh, Finch. Yes, the bird, of course. Jenny Finch. How did I should have known that.
No.
All right. African American greats for what color am I? 2. No. I'll go 1. Okay.
African American greats for 1. Okay. Which black Olympian has been credited with single-handedly crushing Hitler's myth of Aryan supremacy?
Jesse Owens.
That is correct.
Which came first seems really difficult, so I'm going to go for which came first for 2.
Okay. Which came first? 4-2. Which came first? The NHL instituting the 5-minute sudden death overtime to be played in the regular season, or wearing helmets being made mandatory?
Oh, God.
So which came first, 5-minute overtime or being able to wear helmets? Being forced to wear helmets, I'm sorry.
Helmets.
The correct answer is helmets. 1979. Overtime started in 1983.
But the players like Greg and Tavish were grandfathered.
Were grandfathered in, correct. If you were already in the league, you did not have to wear one.
Right.
Carly, I'm sorry I said that blonde girl. I was just talking out loud. I was like, oh, that blonde girl who always wore the ponytail. I could see her face, and then I remembered her first name, but I couldn't remember the last. So I apologize for that. That was a little iffy.
Go ahead, Noel.
Okay, I will. Let's do. What do I have left here? 5.
You got a lot. You got 4. You got all your 4s and 5s.
4s and 5s. Let's do less is more for 5.
Whoa, less is more. For
Oh
5.
no, here it goes.
Shut up, son.
This Australian professional golfer and PGA Tour member first broke into the world's top 10 in 2001 and became a world number 1 in 2015. He went on to win his first major tournament at the 2015 PGA Championship, scoring a record 20 strokes under par.
So it's 3 letters, right?
Yep.
Man. I don't know.
Jason Day.
Yeah.
Good job, Father.
Appreciate it, son.
All right.
Less is more for 4.
Less is more for 4. This is your last 4-point question.
Oh, wait, no, I did 4 already. Sorry.
No, we're doing 2 each. That's fine.
Okay.
Less is more. Have fun. Also, just listen to these. Just listen to this resume too. It's absolutely unbelievable. At age 10, this player became the youngest to qualify for a USGA Amateur Championship before becoming the youngest winner of the U.S. Amateur Public Links and the youngest woman to qualify ever for the LPGA Tour event. She turned professionally shortly before her 16th birthday, and in 2005, she won her first major. I'm sorry, she turned professionally in 2005 and won her first major at the 2014 U.S. Open.
Jesus.
3 letters.
Uh-oh.
Prodigy.
Janet Lee.
What's that?
Isn't it Lee?
No. You were so close.
Michelle Wee.
Michelle Wee.
Oh, God, Michelle Wee. Who's Janet Lee?
Janet Lee is a
Psycho.
Billiards player, right? The Black Widow.
Oh, that's right. That's actually right.
Yep.
She was also in Psycho.
All right, Noel, you're up.
Wow.
All right. Let's do. What do I have left here? 4, right?
Yeah, you got a 4.
All right. I haven't done which team. Let's do which team first before.
Which came first for 4? So Noel's going over here. All right, which came first for 4? Which came first? The NFL increased the touchdown from 5 points to 6, or a field goal was dropped from 4 points to 3?
Oh, God.
We have to. Our trivia czar Amy has done an amazing job finding these questions because I didn't even know this ever happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So kudos to her.
Field goals were 4 points.
I had no idea field goals were 4 points or the touchdowns were 5.
A little too good. Thanks, Amy. Let's do touchdowns.
Oh, incorrect. Field goals. Field goals happened in 1909. Touchdowns in 1912.
Of course, yeah.
Of course.
It was close.
I thought, Michael, you saw that in person.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I was at the game, bro.
rude.
What do
You
I?
each have a 5. Michael, you have a 3. No, you don't have a 3. You each have a 5. Michael, you have a 2, and you have 2 1s.
All right, I'll do a tennis down under for 1.
Tennis down under for 1. Let's end the category. All right. What city does the tournament take place in?
Melbourne, Australia.
That is correct. All right. No.
What do I have left?
Let's see. You have a 1. You have a 3, a 4, and a 5.
3. Let's do which came first. 3. Why not?
I'll go back to less is more.
Would you say don't go back to less is more?
No, I said do go back to less is more.
You get whatever's left. So,
Oh no.
which came first for 3? Which came first? The NBA ruled that a player who commits a flagrant foul is automatically ejected, or the number of referees officiating a game increased from 2 to 3.
Jesus, that is tough.
Which I think the refs increasing came first.
The fouls increased first. Fouls 1980, refs 1988.
That's what happens when you think, Noel.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do I have left? I have a 2. I'll go African American greats for 2, please.
All right. African American greats for 2. To add to his 5 MVP awards, this NBA alum became the first African American inducted to the Basketball Hall of Fame in 1975 as a player for his years spent with the Boston Celtics playing center.
Bill Russell.
That is correct. All right, Noel.
Zach, pick one for me.
Less is more for 3. You got it.
Can you do? No, you're done. You're done with those. You're done with 3s.
Go to foul language for 5, Dad.
Sure, why not?
Foul language for 5. Oof. Are you nervous? Okay. Primarily known for pitching for the Philadelphia Phillies from 1948 to 1961, this MLB player also spent the latter part of his career with the Orioles, Astros, and Cubs. He holds the record for most consecutive opening day starts for the same team with 12 and was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1976.
Oh, Jesus.
Foul language.
I'm drawing a blank here. Bob Chicken.
Bob Chicken is incorrect.
Oh my god!
The correct answer is Robin Roberts.
Oh, Robin. Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh, it can be first and last. Oh, that's
Mhm.
yeah.
I was just thinking last names. Like,
Yeah.
All right, Michael, you're
right.
up. You have
I'll go foul language for 2. No, I did 2 already. I
you did 2. You did not. What do you have left? You have a 1,
a 1, and that's it. Oh, and a 5.
1, and a 5.
Oof. Oh god, 5. Which came first is going to be impossible. Yeah, let's go for that.
Which came first for 5? All right.
Chicken or the egg?
All right. Which came first for 5? Which came first? The MLB instituting the designated hitter or free agency?
I feel like that's a trick question. I'd say the DH.
The DH is correct. 1973. Free agency was 1975.
Wow, not that far apart.
Noel, you look aggravated.
story of my life. All right.
What's the score? I just want to know what the score
The
is.
score is 22-3, Michael.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just so rare that I win at this thing that it feels good.
It's
Yeah.
like a Jet game. Holy shit. All
Yeah,
right.
it feels good to crush it a little
Yeah.
bit once in a while,
Exactly. All right. What do I have left? Am I done?
No, here, let's see. You have a 1 left,
One figures. All right.
and you have a. You're orange, right?
Yeah.
You have a 4 and a 1.
All right. Can I add those together and times them by 3?
No.
No. Okay. All right. African American greats for 4.
African American greats for 4. All right. Hailing from this minor league Montreal team, Jackie Robinson was crowned the first African American to play Major League Baseball for the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1947.
Wow.
What is the name of the Montreal team he played for?
It's not the Alouettes, is it?
No.
All right.
Was that your final answer?
It's not Bob Chicken, so I don't know.
It's definitely not Bob Chicken. The Montreal Royals.
The Royal.
Oh, come on. Everyone knows that.
All right, Michael, you have a 1.
All right, let's go. That's it, right? I only have a 1 left. Let's go with foul language, just because it's funny, and I'm going to say Bob Chicken no matter what.
All right, foul language. This professional skateboarder and entrepreneur became the first to land a 900 trick involving the completion of 2.5 mid-air revolutions on a skateboard. He initially succeeded this feat on his 12th attempt and later went on to master the trick again in 2016 at the age of 48 in front of his son Spencer.
Tony Chicken Hawk.
That's correct. All right, and you have a 1-point question left, Noel.
Since I'm doing so well, less is more.
Less is more.
Less is definitely more tonight.
All right, less is more. Born in Louisville, Kentucky, this athlete began training as an amateur boxer at age 12 and won a gold medal in light heavyweight division in 1960 Summer Olympics at age 18. He later became a Muslim in 1964, announced that he would no longer be known as Cassius Clay, but this instead.
Wow. You actually threw Cassius Clay in there?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's a 1-point question.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But it was still a 1-point question without Cassius Clay.
Yeah. His mama named him Clay. We'll call him Clay. Muhammad Ali.
All right. Zach, would you like to try the remaining questions?
I would love to.
All
right,
big
which came first? 1-point question.
Oh, no.
What came first? The NBA's 24-second clock or 3-point line?
Throw a 3-point line.
Incorrect. Shot clock.
When was shot clock?
Shot clock was 1954. 3-pointer was 1979.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, that's
right.
You're off by almost 30 years there.
I just assumed that it was 3-point line.
All right. Foul language.
Oh, no.
This 6'3" right fielder was among the most recognizable players of his day, noted for his shaved head, thick goatee, and patch of pine tar on his right hip. He made his major league debut in 1987 and was famously traded to Seattle Mariners, which is often considered one of the worst Yankee trades of all time.
Jay Buhner.
Yes. I put that in there for Noel.
Nice. He's got the bobblehead.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not even all of it. Wait till you see what the desk downstairs looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, less is more. For 3. This Sudanese-American basketball player and political activist was one of the tallest players in NBA history. He was selected by the Washington Bullets in the 1985 draft and is the only player to retire with more blocked shots than points scored.
Manute Bol.
Yes!
Rest in peace.
Yeah. University of Bridgeport.
That's right. All right, foul language for 4. This center who played for the Ottawa Senators and Nashville Predators was drafted in 1998 in the 1998 second round. However, he quickly became Country Superstar's first round pick after meeting backstage at one of her concerts, and in 2008 they got married.
Oh my! Is it Mike Fisher?
It is Mike Fisher.
It's Mike Fisher.
Zach is crushing it. And your last one is African American greats for 5.
I'm sorry, is Fisher a type of bird?
Yes, a fisher is a bird. Yep. Okay, 5 points. Who was the first African American to win the Stanley Cup in 2010 for the Chicago Blackhawks?
Is it Ray Emery?
He was Canadian. He didn't win.
He's retired now.
He is retired now. Do you know? Michael knows it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just retired last year
10
From Winnipeg.
from Winnipeg.
from Winnipeg.
Played
And
defense and forward.
and
And
you-
went back to
you
defense.
Oh, is it Dustin Bufflin?
Dustin Bufflin.
No, I did not look at that one, Dad. You could haven't even opened it.
You can look at it. It was wrong.
Well, what did you put?
I Trevor Daly.
Oh man! All right, so Michael wins with 23 points. Zach has 14 and Noel has 4.
We add ours together.
We'll reconvene next week.
And Zach only had half of the questions that we had. So
Yeah, well done, Zach.
So less was more for Zach tonight. Definitely.
Less, what's more? That's right.
But good show, everyone. This was not my finest hour, but
Please subscribe to the channel.
yeah, exactly. Please subscribe. We're almost at 100, and Dan will give away one of his Emmys if we hit 100 to a lucky subscriber. Next week, you're not here, right, Michael?
I will not be here next week, but Zach will fill my shoes quite gallantly.
Should we get a guest host to replace
Oh,
him?
it's Grandma's time to shine, Dad. Grandma's time to shine.
Don't get a guess, because if he's better than me, then I'll be out of a job. And This is the only job I have right now.
I can't quit you, Vartan.
Okay, good.
Well, Zach will continue his run. Thanks for watching. I had some couple comments about the fan trivia. We're definitely working on it a couple weeks away, and it'll be good. But thanks for watching. For Jay Buhner and everyone else.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. Be safe.
Yoda.
And we'll see you.
Baby Yoda.